Hi everyone, it is great to see you. I'm back today to talk to you about some more hydrangea difficulties you might be having this time of year. I am loving these hydrangeas. They are beautiful. But you know, when you look closely at any hydrangea plant, usually around mid-July, you do start to see some imperfections. So I want to show you a few things that you might be seeing and some things that you can do about that. So one thing I noticed right here, we've been having a lot of rain. I have some yellow leaves at the bottom. Now notice, this yellow leaf does not have dark green veins to it. This is because it's had so much water. And if you're seeing some yellow leaves, usually this is going to start at the bottom of your hydrangea and you're going to see them yellowing and falling off. That's from too much water. So I don't really worry about this. I pluck them off. They don't look really good. But other than that, you're okay. You can let it go. Now another thing you might be seeing, it's right over here. So this wee bit giddy I purchased in a nursery pot. It was beautiful when I purchased it. Unfortunately, I left it out in the sun a little bit too long before I put it in the ground, and it did sustain some bad damage. So you can get to the point where it has been sunburnt and you lose part of your plant. So now it's been in the ground for quite a while, and when I look at this, I see that the edges of the leaves are curled in black. That's from the sun damage. And there are parts that are just not coming back. When your flowers look like this, that is not just limp and bent over, it is dead. Once it's dead, it's not going to become undead. You can cut it off. So don't sit there and just pray over it. Go ahead, you have to remove the dead parts. So you just go through, and anything that looks like it is really past its prime, you can cut back. Now I didn't lose the plant, that's the good thing. Look at this. I have beautiful new growth coming up here. So just because your plant does get in a bad way, it happens to all of us sometimes. We leave a plant out in the sun too long, we get distracted by something, plant it, then take a look at it after a few days and see what is still alive and what isn't. But don't feel like you have to sit around and keep the ugly dead parts for the rest of the season. You can trim it back, it'll look great next year. This might even get some more blossoms this year if I'm lucky. Wee Bit Giddy does bloom on new wood. So as I look at these leaves, I'm also going to take off the ones that look the most destroyed here because I have new leaves coming that I can see. So I need to leave, of course, enough foliage that it's going to be able to get energy from the sun, but I don't need to leave everything. And sometimes I even cut like the top half of a leaf off, take the worst part out, and leave the green part, because this brown part is not doing the plant any good. Okay, I'm gonna leave it like that. It should be fine. So you know that I've put a lot of macrophylla hydrangea in the new side garden here, and for the most part this is a shady area. This is the east side of the house. I have the house that shades it, I have the fence that shades it, and down either end of our path it really does get a lot of shade. But I did not realize that right here in the middle it has a fair amount of sun. So this is a great example of what might happen if you put a macrophylla in too much sun. We know that they say plant a macrophylla in morning sun, afternoon shade. Well, this ended up with a little more sun than I had planned. The plant looks really good. We're not droopy. It has plenty of water. It bloomed really, really well. But look at how the flowers aged. This is a sign that it's in too much sun. A good macrophylla blossom should last at least a month, if not longer. I mean, these are known for end of June, beginning of July, and zone 6B, blooming and retaining that beautiful blossom, and most of my other ones have.
This is very different than when your hydrangea blossoms just age naturally. As your hydrangea blossoms do get older, they certainly do change color. Now, some of them are going to deepen into a pink. Some do get tinges of brown in them, but they keep their shape. They keep the fullness of the petals, and they really look beautiful left on the bush. And you'll see a lot of different variations in this depending on the variety of macrophylla that you have. And some, yes, do turn primarily brown, but they look very different from this. They're going to still look antiqued, still look like a hydrangea, beautiful blossom ball of these little florets. And you have a choice then. You can keep those on your bush for the fall and winter interest. If they turn that way earlier in the season, you could cut them off if you'd like and see if you get more blossoms, or you can leave them on, either way. But what you're seeing here is very different from that. What you're seeing here is that these blossoms pretty much fried in the sun, and they don't even look like the rounded little florets anymore. They're just kind of like little skeleton pieces of the flowers, and they're not attractive. So this is not something that you'd want to leave on your bush long term.
So I might decide to move this plant because I want those blossoms in the future to last longer. It's not like the plant can't take it. I'm just not going to get the best blossom performance. And once again, these are done. They are not coming back. So you can definitely cut them off. There is a chance I will get some reblooming here, but probably this is going to be it. So it really caused this to be a much shorter lived blossom than I would have hoped for. One of the reasons I love macrophylla hydrangea is that you really can count on them having the blossoms last so long, and even antiquing to just a different color, but they keep their petals and they look beautiful. But these petals have just all dried up, and it's too late. I learned a lot, and now I know that maybe a panicle hydrangea would be better suited for this area. So ideally this time of year, your hydrangeas are looking similar to this in zone 6B. I love these. These are Seaside, Serenade, Newport. To me, their color is just, oh, gorgeous. This one I protected through the winter. These two I didn't. They still are blooming beautifully. So they get the A+ for me for winter hardiness. They're going to stay nice and small. But look, I mean, here it is, shortly after noon, and the leaves are not drooping. The flowers, they've been blooming like this for ages. They are still going strong. So I know that I have the right amount of sun and shade here. I know I have the right amount of moisture. I look at their leaves and they're a nice green color, and the veins are yellow, not dark green like I would see with chlorosis. I don't see any spots on the leaves. So if you find the right place for your macrophylla hydrangea, that is so key to them doing well. Because I'm the same gardener that 20 feet down there planted that same hydrangea, and it didn't like that spot. So good luck with your hydrangea. I'll be giving you some more tips on them in the future. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you in the next video.